1 month, 6-month journey. I already started a lot of things here, but I think I'm gonna be documenting everything that I will be learning on front end. So I am taking the week 3 working with Bootstrap Grid. This is the lab work. There are a lot of things I don't understand because the walkthrough is missing something. I did not do a review. I guess I will just try this the first time. Anyway, they offer at least 3 submissions every 8 hours, so if I don't make it on the first try, I can try again later. So when you open the Coursera lab, they will open this. This is like the Microsoft Visual Studio, so it's integrated in Coursera, so we can do the coding directly on Coursera. I have the instructions, and let me do this. Okay, so they have several files here. They have the JavaScript file from Bootstrap and the CSS file from Bootstrap. The index HTML, this is the file that we're going to be working on. For the first step is I need to add the class attribute to this element with a value container. So I'm going to add, I think I need to make this bigger. Let me just, okay, so that's better. Alright, so for the first instruction, we need to add a class attribute to the body element with a value container. So let's put here, so this is the body. So this is the body element. We're gonna put a container attribute inside a div element inside the body element. So I'm gonna first add a div element. Class is the container. So this is self-closing, and then as you can see, this is the good part for Visual Studio. It automatically creates the closing tag, so less time in typing. Okay, next step, we're gonna add 3 div elements to the Bootstrap container. So this is the Bootstrap container, and then we will add 3 div elements inside it. So this is the inside, this is the opening tag of the container, this is the closing tag of the container. We're gonna have to add 3 div elements with row classes inside it. So let's add it first. Div, and the class is row, and we need 3, and as you can see, it automatically creates the closing tag. I always put it enter because we're gonna putting in something inside later on. Whenever we create elements, closing and opening, this is just the opening and then the closing, but we're missing the contents inside, so I always do that. So it's like a preparation for the next step. So here, so we created 3 div elements inside the container div with class row. Okay, so it says that the first row will contain the little lemon logo. Add a div element to the first row. So it is this first row which we're gonna add the little lemon logo. So we're gonna add here another div element, and then it's the image src. I always been learning JavaScript as well, and I'm getting confused with the equals and the colon. So this is the logo. Logo ping. Okay, so this is it. And then add the class attribute to this element with the value call 12. This will take up to 12 columns of spaces. Okay, so they said that we need to the first row will contain the lemon Lego, so we need to add a div element to the first row. So this is the first row, and then we add this one is the first row, and then it says to add another div element, which is going to be the preparation for the logo, which I already added. And for that div, we need to add the column or call-12 class. Okay, so let me add. Coursera missed to explain where this is coming from, but I'm thinking, since we're using Bootstrap, if you have a little background with CSS, the class that you will be adding to your index HTML should match on the class that you have in your style sheet. So this is kind of messy. I wouldn't do a CSS like this. It's kind of difficult to read, but I'm guessing this call12 container row, it's something that you can also find here. Let me just try that. Let's see, there's the call12, so it's just automatically matching it there. So that's why it's very important that we are putting it exactly how it is. Okay, add another div element to the call12 and add the class attribute to this element with the value text center. This will allow you to center the logo. So we already added the logo there. So, but let me just remove that first, because they just said it's a preparation. So I already added it. Okay. Next, we need to add another div element to the call12. So this is our call12 element. We need to add another div inside it, the class attribute to this element with the value text center. This will allow you to center the logo. Okay. So this is the call12 element, and it says we need to add another div element with class text container. So this will center our logo later. Okay. Next, so we're gonna add the image element in the text center element with the image fluid class to it. Okay, so let's see. So this is the text center element that we have just created, and then it says that inside it we need to add another element for the image now. So I was kind of advanced earlier. And then we need to add a class image fluid. So again, the reason why we're adding the image fluid and exactly how it's spelled is because it should match on what it has here. Okay, so let's add image src. So this is the HTML code to display an image, and then we need to link it to this image, so this image will display on our HTML file. So exactly the same file, so that's logo.png, and then we need to add class image fluid. Okay, so it should be exactly how it is, because as I said earlier, I'm guessing it should be here. Let's try. Okay, so there's the image fluid, and they have the CSS code for it. Okay, we're done here. Now we're gonna have to work on the second row. So this is, let me just move this away. This is our second row. Let's put some contents on there. Okay, so on the second row, we need to add another div element with the class call12. So it's something that is similar to this one. So this is our second row. We're gonna have to add another div element with class call12 there, and then close it, and you can see it's automatically added in there. Okay, next. So inside this that we have just created, we're gonna add another div element with class center. So div class text center. You're gonna have to be really careful with the those characters in there. In my experience, while I was working on other projects, it's like a simple missed comma or apostrophe will cause a lot of errors. Okay, so we have the text center div element inside a col 12 and inside a row. So inside this text center element, we're going to have to add an h1 element with the text our menu. So inside this, it says that we need to add an h1 element to say our menu. So it's going to be h1 and then let's say our menu. Perfect. Okay, next, add 2 div elements in the final row. So we're gonna add 2 div elements in the final row. So it's this is the final row. And it says we need to add 2 div elements. So this is the first, and then this is the second. There. And then add a class attribute to each element with the value col 12, col lg6. So this one is class col 12 and then col lg6. If you're wondering what this is, based on what I remember from by the way, I'm going to be adding the same thing because it says that for the 2 div elements that he created, we need to put it there. So based on what I remember from the video lessons, col is for column, this is for column, and then 12 is for the size. And then the reason why we're going to be putting the second is to make it responsive. If they're looking at the screen on a desktop, it's gonna use the col 12. But if they're gonna be using screen on mobile phones, it's gonna be col lg6. So col is column, lg is the large, and then 6 is the size of the column. Okay. Next is add the following elements in the first col 12, col lg6 element. So let's look for that. So this is the first col 12, col lg6 element, and we need to add an h2 element containing the text falafel. So here we add h2 falafel and add a paragraph element containing text chickpea, herbs, and spices. Okay, we'll add p element. P is for paragraph, H2 is for the heading 2. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, it's just the same heading. The only difference is the sizes. So heading 2 is like the second largest. Then we need to add another H2 element with a title fried calamari. And add a paragraph element containing the text squid buttermilk. Okay, so another, all done. H2, let me just put that H2 right here. Okay, so P element, and we need to add a squid buttermilk. Okay, just to review what we did. So on the first div class col 12, col lg6 element, we added H2 or heading 2 falafel, P element or paragraph element for chickpea, herbs, and spices, another H2 element for fried calamari, and another P element for squid buttermilk. Now, next, we need to add the following elements in the second col 12, col lg6 element. So this is the second col 12, col lg6 element. So we need to add an H2 element for pasta salad. So notice that I put it inside. So this is the opening, and then this is the closing tag. Next, we're gonna have to add a paragraph element for lettuce, vegetables, and mozzarella. Let's do that here under the H2 element. Oh, what happened? Need to close that here. Okay, there. Just be very, very careful. Okay. Next, we need to add another H2 element for Greek salad. So right under here, H2. Okay. And last, cucumbers, onion, and feta cheese under the H2. Can't be looking anywhere because might not notice this. Okay, there. Right, and then click Save File. Click on Go Live, which is in the bottom right of your editor, which is the Go Live. Hold on, let me just change this. Close this one. Goodness, I cannot see. Okay, there, Go Live. Click on the browser preview. Where is it? Oh, wait, this one is the browser preview. And see, enter the URL, export port, sorry, that's 5500. Where did I get it? Here. We can see the port 5500 there. And then let's enter. Now this one, let's see, on MacBook 15, let's write that. I think the logo is not centered. The logo doesn't look centered. Let me see. Mac 13. It's the same. iPad mini. I don't know if this is correct, but my logo is not centering. It's fluid, but I got it correct. Div class, enter. Okay, I'm gonna close this and then let's just submit it. Let's see if that's gonna work. Okay, so I just closed the server. Now I'm gonna just save this, and then I know I'm missing the submit button. Okay, I think this is not something that I should submit, because normally there's a submit button here for the assignment. I think this is done.